Hi, I'm Dr. Dave Janda. Welcome back to the Operation Freedom platform and our ongoing series in your nutritional health and well-being. I'm honored to have back with me someone who is a very dear friend, Dr. Peter Glidden, and someone who is the top naturopathic physician, not just in our country, but I believe the world. A little background on Peter. He attended Williams College, obtained his Bachelor of Science degree in pre-medical studies from the University of Massachusetts. He then obtained his doctoral degree in naturopathic medicine from the great Bastyr University in Seattle, Washington. And he has been in private practice and practicing naturopathic medicine and licensed to practice naturopathic medicine since 1992. Now, in addition to Peter's great clinical and research skills, Peter is also a phenomenal author. I encourage you to go to Amazon. His 2 books are the foundation for our medical library and should be the foundation for your medical library. Everybody is sick, and I know why, and Attempt a Cure with Holistic Medicine. Peter, welcome back to the Operation Freedom platform. Peter, you're muted out.
Welcome back, Dave.
Oh, wait. It's like, oh.
Yeah, it always helps to turn the audio on. I found that to be almost a universal truth.
So I didn't know if you were messing with me or if I actually turned your audio on. Or if I needed to go see the audiologist because something went wrong. So, Peter, we're going to talk about grapes today. And no, we're not going to do a discussion about James Steinbeck's Grapes of Wrath, but we're going to talk about the grapes of health.
Yeah.
And folks' nutritional well-being as it relates to grapes. Educate us.
It's an interesting concept to talk about, and it goes back to the fundamental naturopathic philosophy that nature knows best, right? That if we are attempting to upregulate the health of the human body, to support and promote the health of the human body, then it would perhaps be wise to take our cues from nature, because the human body and the environment of planet Earth have an intimate relationship. You know, most pharmaceuticals, if not all, had their origins in the plant kingdom, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a really interesting thing to talk about. And whenever I start talking about plant medicines or botanical medicines, it really gets me excited because of this fundamental relationship between the human body and, in this case, the plant kingdom. Okay, so, you know, a couple of years ago, I was vacationing in Aruba, right? Mm-hmm. Which is a little bit north of off the coast of South America. And if you go to Aruba and you hit a 9-iron, you're going to land on an aloe vera plant.
Got it.
Aloe vera is everywhere on that island, and because it's the perfect environment for that plant to grow, right? Mm-hmm. In the world of nature, when it's easy for things to grow, mm-hmm. there are going to be phytochemicals and things inside that plant which are going to be helpful. Mm-hmm. But if a plant is growing mm-hmm. in an environment which is harsh, and over time the plant figures out how to adapt and survive, mm-hmm. that particular plant has more phytochemicals in it than its cousins do, who are growing in the easy breezy lemon squeezy environment.
Got it.
And it's a stronger, more robust plant, and therefore one can logically conclude that, well, maybe we should investigate the use of that plant and see if there's stuff in it that can help the human body because it's a survivor, right?
Mm-hmm. Right, correct.
All right. So there's a type of grape that is the survivor of the grape kingdom, and it's called the Muscadine grape. The Muscadine grape, as it has evolved under the environmental stress and learned how to not just survive but thrive, it has 60 more chromosomes in it than its cousins do. So it's a more robust, stronger plant, and it's loaded with phytochemicals. So the good people at Longevity, there's a company in North Carolina called Nature's Pearl, and they teamed up with Longevity, and Nature's Pearl, the people at Nature's Pearl, have really, I think, the world owes them a great big thank you very much, because they have been the thought leaders around this whole concept of investigating the physical benefits to the human body of the phytochemicals that are in the Muscadine grape. And the initial research is unbelievable.
So let's talk about that.
I mean, this is really, really, really great stuff. Okay, so here's the breakdown. There are over 100 naturally occurring plant chemicals in the Muscadine grape, things like ellagic acid, resveratrol, quercetin, anthocyanidins, and they've done tests on these things in vitro and in vivo in mouse models, and the results are remarkable. So I want the listeners to sit down, put a big heavy book on your head, because I'm about to make it explode. In vivo, right, in the Petri dish in the lab, which is not the be-all, end-all, by the way. You can't take that to the bank, but it's a good place to start, and that's where most research starts, with in vitro studies. Human lung cancer cells, the 81.8% of human lung cancer cells were inhibited by the addition of the Muscadine grape extract into the Petri dish where the cancer was grown. Wow. Colon cancer cells, 80.5% inhibition. Prostate cancer cells, 80.4%. Breast cancer, triple-negative breast cancer cells, 92.6% inhibition. 92.6%. Brain cancer cells, 90.2% inhibition. Skin cancer, 60.9%. And leukemia cells, one of the hardest cancers to get on the other side of, 74.2% inhibition in the growth of the cancer in the Petri dish. Remarkable, right? So then, because they're smart, and because smart people who are concerned with actually helping humanity to eliminate suffering, needless suffering of humanity, are going to research stuff, right? The way that you would think that all researchers do, but Big Pharma has corrupted that industry completely. They've done studies with mice, right? So they breed mice, and they alter their genetics so that 100% of these mice develop a particular type of cancer, right? Kind of a crazy way to research cancer, I think, but nonetheless, it's the research standard. And so they took these cancer-prone mice, and they divided. It was a placebo-controlled, double-blinded study, right? The mice don't know what they're eating.
Right.
They took half of the population and gave them water, and they took the other half of the population and they put the Muscadine grape extract in the water. And the mice that had the grape extract, there was a significant reduction in the size, the pathogenicity of the tumors in their body, the vascularization of the tumors, right? Because that's one of the big things with tumor production, is that tumor cells in the body, cancer tumor cells, are loaded with blood vessels.
True.
And that's one of the reasons why they're hard to get on the other side of. But the tumors in the mice that had the grape extract, there was like a significant reduction in the amount of blood vessels that were in the tumors. It was a remarkable thing. And, you know, in a perfect world, right, where there were equal amounts of research dollars given to the holistic method as given to the reductionistic pharmaceutical method, right? And if all universities were encouraged to do 50-50 and things like this research would have been front page, New York Times news. It's a remarkable, unbelievable breakthrough in cancer, right? But because Big Pharma owns the show, stuff like this, you know, it's published, but it doesn't get headlines, and nobody's going to spend $60 million to follow this up with human studies to see if it actually does have legs. But I'm telling you, nature knows what's best. And if it looks like a duck, and it flies like a duck, and it quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. So my advice, in addition to the 90 essential nutrients and elimination of the 12 bad foods, and using salt on a regular basis to help your digestive tract, and doing a detox maybe once a year, an effective detox program, you would be prudent to add the Muscadine grape capsules as part of your regular program. And it does so much more than this, right? It's also been shown to increase the size, the diameter, and the blood flow through the brachial arteries in the human body. It's loaded with antioxidants. It's got hundreds of times more antioxidants than its closest competitors. And oxidative damage is a prime mover in the genesis of all chronic disease. So this is like strengthening the fire department of the body big time. And when it comes to the use of plant medicines, most of the time we talk about herbs, right?
Sure.
Botanical medicines. There's only a handful of herbs that we recommend people take on a regular basis for their rest of their life. Ginseng is one of them. Muscadine grape, although it's not an herb, it's a plant medicine, is another one, right? Because of the remarkable research that's been done and the origins, the backstory, right, of the plant. My recommendation is you should get this stuff and add it to your normal daily intake of stuff, because really you've got nothing to lose.
And also has some, from an orthopedic standpoint, if I'm correct, Pete, it also has a positive effect on joint well-being and health.
Yes, because the presumptive mechanism there is it's anti-inflammatory activity, right? But that's another thing that it's been shown to be effective with. And, in a perfect world, we would have researched the crap out of this. There would have been human trials with this. There would have been, 15 or 20 double-blinded placebo-controlled study, because this stuff has legs. This stuff has promise. Really great. And, from our point of view, right, what it comes down to is the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So my recommendation, right, lean on the research, be open-minded to the research, look to the research. Well, there's promise here. This is perhaps a smart thing to do. So do a little in-house experiment. Get some muscadine grapes, take them every day for 3 months, and look to see what type of a change it elicits. And, quite frankly, if you don't feel any different after doing this stuff, also has positive effects on blood sugar metabolism, by the way.
Right. Energy.
You don't feel any different, I'll eat my flipping hat, man. This is a really good in-house experiment.
And we have this product available on OperationFreedomHealth.com. So some folks say, well, okay, this is great. You're talking about this stuff. Where do I get it? OperationFreedomHealth.com. Full disclosure, folks that purchase products on OperationFreedomHealth.com, it does help support this platform. Peter, my great aunt, Josephine K. Zeman, was a Chicago public school system teacher for many years, and she loved to travel the world. And I was in grade school at the time. She went to France. She comes back, and she said, I'm doing this whole thing all wrong. What? What are you talking about? She goes, everybody there eats fatty foods like you can't believe. And then they have a couple glasses of wine, and you know what? She said, I'm over there meeting people 30, 40 years older than me, and they're in great shape. She goes, meanwhile, back here, my doc is telling me I'm eating too many fatty foods. I can't eat fatty foods. She goes, here's what I'm doing. I'm eating whatever. I'm eating all that fatty food stuff that I like, and I'm going to have a couple glasses of wine every day. Peter, she died at 98 years of age.
Unbelievable. Did she have Alzheimer's?
No. 110% with it to the day she died.
Yeah, see, that's the metric that most people don't take into consideration. Oh, my grandmother made it to 85 years of age. Well, good for you. But in the last 10 years of her life, she had Alzheimer's. She had 2 fake hips. She had 3 fake knees. Yeah. She had no teeth. She was legally blind. She had 5 hearing aids. Oh, that's a great way to end the life, right? Right. So this is the thing, man. And this is really interesting, because before the advent of the Western diet infiltration into Europe, right? Thank you very much, McDonald's. France, according to the Central Intelligence Agency, right now, God only knows why they keep these data, but they do, right? Was the second The population of France was the second longest lived in the world.
Well,
The people, it was called the French paradox.
uh-huh.
Scientists called it the French paradox because, just like your grandmother said, they eat all the stuff that's supposed to be bad for you. They drink all the stuff that's supposed to be bad for you, and they're the longest lived, healthiest people on planet. What's going on? Do they have some mysterious different gene? No, they're not wrong. The conventional wisdom about what to eat was wrong.
Right.
And so this is another aspect of that, right? The wine loaded with resveratrol and proanthocyanidins and OPCs, and where does that stuff come from? It comes from the grape.
Grape. That's right. Good grape. And
So,
it just so happens, as you point out, the Muscadine grape is loaded with that.
Oh, it's like the Arnold Schwarzenegger of the grape.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't even come close. And you know, a little bit of alcohol, not bad, but too much alcohol is going to have net negative effects, right? So you're going to get some positive results from the wine, and then you overdo it, you get 2 steps forward and 2 steps backward, but not with the Muscadine grape.
Yeah, that's right.
Because there's none of that in it, none of the bad stuff in it. It's really
the single most effective way, again, I think it bears repeating, to get that Muscadine grape extract is which product?
Yeah, it's called Muscadine grape. Now, the company that manufactures this stuff has 2 types of this product. They have the powdered Muscadine grape extract in a capsule.
Uh-huh.
And they have a concentrated, like super thick, super concentrated grape juice in a bottle.
Oh.
The super concentrated grape juice is a high-ticket item. It's expensive.
Very expensive.
Yeah. You know, I think it's outside of most people's wherewithal, but you know, if you're the 1%, then get the concentrated grape juice because it has more potent effects. But I take the Muscadine grape capsules. Yeah. 2, 3, 4 of them a day. If I'm going to be in a more high stressed environment, you know, I'll do 8 a day. And nobody really knows what the dose is. Again, you'd think that would have been determined by now.
Yeah, right.
But it hasn't been because we don't have a free medical market and nobody can afford to do this research, right? So really, really, really great stuff.
Now, Peter, you mentioned having the foundation. We need to touch on this. The foundation being the foundation pack of the 90 essential nutrients, again, also available on OperationFreedomHealth.com. So just a brief 1-minute thing on why, because some people say, well, if I just take the grape extract, I'm good. I don't have to deal with the other 90. No.
Yeah, well, if you take your car in to get tuned up and all they do is put air in the tires, well, that's good, but it's really not going to cut it, right?
No, not very far, not very long.
There's all this other stuff you need to do. So there are 90 essential nutrients that the human body needs in order to function properly, the way that nature and God intended it. Some of these nutrients are in the food that we eat, but most of them are not. And the way that farmers have been trained by Monsanto to grow stuff, the levels of nutrients in the food supply has dramatically decreased over the last 60 years. And then you have the infiltration of things like glyphosate into the food chain, and we're all SOL.
Right.
So the basic take-home message here, and this is a mind bender for most people, right? I would argue that more people have been killed and more human suffering has been created by the false notion that you can get all the nutrients that your body needs to work just from eating food. More people have been harmed by that false notion than all world wars combined, because it's constant, it's continued, it's ongoing, it's in the background, and it's bad. So in order to give your body a fighting chance, you need to just give it the raw materials it needs. I mean, that's kind of, common sense. So those raw materials are vitamins, minerals, amino acids, essential fatty acids, are all contained in the foundation pack sold at Operation Freedom Health. And that's called the foundation pack because that's what it is.
Yep.
It's the foundation of your nutritional, arsenal in the body. And then once we've got that dialed in, we stop eating 12 foods because they have net negative effects to the human body. You wouldn't put diesel fuel in an unleaded engine and expect the car to run.
Right.
Same with the human body. And so once you've got that foundation handled, then we start getting into, the graduate course, right?
Right.
Where we add things like Super Olive Health to help us fight off viral stress, right?
Mm-hmm.
We add the Muscadine Grape to help upregulate the immune system of the body and increase its anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer ability. I mean, what's wrong with that? Is like, what's the downside to that? There's no downside to that.
No.
This is what we do. And this is why the people that pay attention to us and take our advice have such often remarkable results. And again, the proof of the pudding here is in the eating.
Peter, I'd like to thank you for everything you have done, are doing, and will do. I encourage folks to get your books. They are phenomenal, and they should be the foundation, which they are in our medical library, but they should be in every home. Everybody is sick, and I know why. An attempt to cure with holistic medicine. We have all of our videos. This is about the 25th in our series of videos. They're all present on OperationFreedomHealth.com, also DaveJanda.com, but the products are available only on OperationFreedomHealth.com. I'd like to thank you for joining us today, folks. Until next time, Dave Janda signing off. Dream big and dare to fail. Thanks for your time.